Welcome back to another episode of Holistic Soul Sister TV. Today is going to be a very juicy episode as we continue on with our primary practitioners to feature them as we welcome them into our community. And today we have Kassandra. She has been an amazing woman that I've gotten to know over the course of the last few years. We started out as friends, have been growing our friendship as we get to know each other through our astrology, through our business, and just through the adventures of life. Yes. She brings so much sexiness, so much sensuality, so much fun and play into my life and into all the women that she comes in contact with. Her official title is a Sensual Embodiment and Intimacy Coach, which I know sounds like a total mouthful, but I promise you by the end of this episode, you will have a very clear understanding of what that means. She's not afraid to go deep with you. She's not afraid to pull out that fun, sexy side of you that you've probably been hiding and shoving down for a very long time. She's going to share with us a little bit about her background, her why, how she got to this point. She's going to dive into a little bit of education with us today. I don't want to fully reveal what she's going to talk about, but you're going to want to stick around. She's going to help you bring some more intimacy into your life starting today. And I'm also going to have her share a little bit about how you can work with her. One of the biggest things that I love that you offer is sexy, sensual dance workshops. I think as women, as we're growing up, dance is something that is fun, that is playful, but it's often something we kind of repress as we get older and as we become adults and as we should, or, you know, society tells us to behave in a certain way. And you bring that right out of us. So stay tuned. She'll talk all about her dance workshops, her other master classes that she puts together. So we will dive into all of that and a little side story and how we've gotten to know each other. We just connected through kind of our friendship group. We have a spiritual tribe, a spiritual group in Tampa that we are all kind of a part of, right? It's a pretty big group and you kind of always find people within the group. But through that, we've just been able to hang out more and connect more. And then I did a birth chart reading for her and I was like, damn girl, we are energetically aligned. We are supposed to create magic together. And so I just had to welcome you into the Holistic Soul Sister tribe as one of our primary practitioners. So welcome to the tribe.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. I'm so eternally grateful. And like Mandy said, I'm so glad we were intertwined and connected because without our group, this wouldn't have happened. And it's a beautiful unfolding that's been happening in our relationship. And I'm so grateful that we've been divinely guided to each other.
Yeah. And I get to watch you grow. I mean, she had this amazing business called Kassandra's Kitchen. Yeah. And, you know, I'm a holistic health coach. And you all know, if you've been following me for a while, I am all about being gluten-free, egg-free, dairy-free, all the frees.
Yes.
And I see she has Kassandra's Kitchen and she's out here making healthy food for people. And I was like, I love this girl. I love what she's onto. But you have morphed in your journey. And all of a sudden I saw you blossom and start talking about sensuality and play and pleasure. And it's just such a testament to see you step into your passion. This is truly what you're meant to do. And I'm just honored to witness that, to support it, to watch you transform other women in our community. So I'm so grateful that you're here in this space.
Yes.
Helping me expand my sensuality.
Thank you. Likewise. Yeah, you've been here for the journey.
It's great.
Yes, you've been. I owned Kassandra's Kitchen, which was an all organic meal prep company that was based around holistic health and nutrition. All the frees, like she said. It was dairy-free, soy-free, nut-free, organic, everything. Wild caught, everything, grass-fed. And I did that for 2.5 years. And I had like a sudden bolt of change that my soul knew I was here meant for more. But it was scary. It was so scary to follow that calling. Cooking was easy. That was comfortable. I was staying in my lane.
And people got to eat.
Yeah, and they have to eat. And I'm like, I'm getting business. We're good. But my soul wanted more. It craved more. And I started to resist the business. And that's how I knew I needed to take that plunge and take that leap of faith and do what I'm here to do, which is help women rise.
Yes. And I think, you know, following your intuition is huge. And it's something I love about Kassandra as a friend, as collaboration in business, is she truly follows her intuition. And you really walk your talk. You know, when I describe you to people, I'm like, listen, I know on the outside, on her social media, she's out here like cheerleading women and women empowerment, but like this bitch truly walks her talk. Like she is always full of light. You're just such a cheerleader in the world of women. And so you follow your intuition. She has these magical intuitive gifts that will usually come out in her workshops. So she will see you deeper than you've probably seen yourself yet. So I love that.
Absolutely. Sounds so good already.
Yes. Every time we chat and we hang out, our energies just merge, and you just bring so much fun and pleasure into my life and into all your clients' life. And I just really honor that space for you. So
thank you.
We're going to have a lot of fun today.
Receive that. Yes.
Everyone needs to buckle up for this episode. I'm probably going to say if you have children nearby, you may want to just pause and circle back.
Yes.
Because this is going to be totally unfiltered. This episode always comes out on what we call Taboo Topic Tuesday within our Holistic Soul Sister community, because we don't hold back, right? Like, these are spaces we have to talk about. I'm a Scorpio rising, so I love to go to those deeper spaces. So, yes, it's just going to be a little word of caution. Keep those virgin ears. Virgin ears tucked away for this episode. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mandy Rose. I am the founder of Holistic Soul Sister Co. And our mission is to help women heal holistically and grow spiritually. So all the primary practitioners that we're featuring on these episodes have been vetted not only by me, but by my team. We've experienced their services. We've worked with them. And every time I get to witness one of your workshops or something that you're doing for the community, it, first of all, looks like so much fun. Like, who wouldn't want to be there?
It's a blast.
And I could just see the transformation in not only the people in our life and our social circle that you've helped, but in your clients and in their testimonials. Like, you really kind of take people out of their comfort zone and help them see, like, there's so much more to life.
Yes, absolutely. When women come to my workshops or come into my world or come into any of my containers, it's so beautiful to witness the blossoming that transpires in those beautiful sacred spaces. Most of them come in like little buds, like rosebuds is what I like to compare it to, like little baby rosebuds. And by the end of the workshops or our transformations or our coaching, they just open up and blossom like a beautiful flower. And it's just so beautiful to experience and witness them kind of just embody their own energy and really just shine.
Yeah.
They shine in their power and their light and their femininity and their sensuality and like who they are authentically to them. And it's really beautiful to witness.
You know, what I love about you, and like, there's a lot of people, you know, that are coaches and mentors, and everyone goes about it in a really unique way. But what I love about you is you really walk your talk. Like, you hold space for women, you cheerlead women on, you see them for who they are. Like, it's just so beautiful to not only have that in a friend, but to see that as someone who is holding space for women in general. Yes. And I love that about you. I mean, I could go on and on about this woman. I mean, she has taught me so much about femininity, embodiment, but truly in the way that you express and you communicate and you see people for who they are and like love them for who they are, I think makes you so special. So I have to reflect that too.
Thank you, Queen. I appreciate that so much.
Anyone that gets an opportunity to go to one of her workshops or to connect with her one-on-one, like, you are lucky.
Oh, I love that.
No doubt.
I really appreciate that. That's
so of course, our Holistic Soul Sisters want to get to know you, and we always start with the important things, our astrology.
We already know.
Because that's how we get to know people around here.
That's the platform we're on here.
That's how we know someone.
Yeah.
So what is your sun, moon, and rising?
Okay, so I'm a Cancer sun, Virgo moon, Virgo rising.
Yes.
I know, sounds really earthy and watery, but I'm very spicy. You'll see. You'll get to know me.
And what I love about her sun and her moon is it's a direct opposition of me. So I'm a Virgo sun. She's a Virgo moon. She's a Cancer sun, and I'm a Cancer moon.
Yeah.
So, like, I just love that energy. What essentially it just
playful.
Means that, like, the way that I shine in my Virgo-ness keeps you safe and secure. And the way that you shine in your Cancer-ness keeps me safe and secure. So.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah, right?
Yes, the polarity and the playfulness. Yes, that's so beautiful.
It just works.
Yes, it does. It does. I love when that happens.
Yes. So, you know, of course, we're Holistic Soul Sisters. So we're out here healing holistically and we're growing spiritually. So what is your current favorite healing modality?
my favorite healing modality currently is my self-pleasure practice. And it may sound like, oh my God, ooh la la, what is she talking about? But really what I mean self-pleasure is I mean giving myself pleasure as soon as I wake up. Before my to-do list, before my business, before I need to do anything else, before my schedule, before my coaching calls, is giving myself self-pleasure as soon as I wake up. Giving myself the time of day to feel grateful for who I am, connecting with my senses, connecting with what I see, what I hear, what I touch, what I taste, what I smell, what I feel like. And then also doing a mirror work exercise and really connecting with myself, looking at myself into my eyes, saying how beautiful I am, loving myself, even when I don't feel good. Even when I feel like shit, I still do it. It is a non-negotiable for me that has helped transform my entire life. So I feel turned on every single day. Every single day. The self-pleasure practice is amazing. And then it can also go, deeper intimately by playing with your body self-pleasurely.
So sometimes it's just as simple as like having a beautiful tea and like lighting a candle and just sitting in that like magical little container you create. And other times it's actually like physically self-pleasuring.
Yes, so activating all of the senses. That's why it's sensual embodiment. It's activating your senses. Sensual doesn't always mean sexy or sexual. It means activating all of your senses.
Oh, I love that. And then you're like, I love that you said you like pour into yourself. And then it's like okay to pour into other people. Like you don't have resentment or you don't feel empty or depleted.
Exactly. Like
that happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's what a lot of people fail to pour into themselves. They put everybody else before themselves, especially as women. We have to put everyone else before ourselves, and that's not true. You're going to be able to give more and show up better in your relationships, in your business, in your life in general when you start pouring into you, and it's going to feel really good. So instead of having resentment towards another person because you're pouring into them first, that's just not going to exist. You're going to feel so full within who you are that you're going to give from a loving place of abundance versus lack.
Yeah. And I bet like, when we're talking about healing modalities, everyone's thinking like cryotherapy, red light, but like this vibration that you create with pleasure can heal so many things physically, right? We don't even realize that. So yeah, I love that perspective.
Yeah, I like to turn and transmute pain into pleasure. And we can go in on that a little bit later.
Yeah, we're diving, we're circling back. I'm mental noting that. I want to hear so much more about that. Yes. So then what is your go-to spiritual practice?
My go-to spiritual practice has to be, a lot of people journal, a lot of people meditate, a lot of people sit in silence and try to take the thoughts away and try to remove all the thoughts. And like, I like to work with them. I like to play with what's coming up. And in that, I like to move them through my body. So like my favorite spiritual practice is movement. It's closing my eyes when I am doing my self-pleasure practices and feeling what is true for me in my body. If I have a negative thought, how can I move that into my body? How can I transmute that into just like organically moving where my body wants to go? Because sometimes we have emotions that we can't explain. You cry and you're like, I don't know why I was crying, but I'm just crying. I have no idea. And so movement allows you the space to express your emotions that don't have words, that don't need an explanation. And it's so powerful and beautiful to feel that release within you just by moving your body and closing your eyes and allowing it to kind of guide you versus your mind trying to guide you. So connecting back into your heart and your body has helped me tremendously in my, like, that's why it's my favorite spiritual practice. So just move.
Yeah. And sometimes I don't think we like connect that physical movement can be spiritual. You can get a lot of intuitive downloads. You can connect to the divine. Like movement is connection to source, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is the flow. It is another form of connection other than meditation, journaling, and whatever. Because it just, when you close your eyes and you're moving, it's hard for you to think. It's really hard for you to think when you're connecting to your body and moving and closing your eyes. And what comes through is the energy and moving with that energy, allowing it to come through you instead of judging it. A lot of times we don't allow ourselves to move our bodies because of fear of looking a certain way or being a certain way or looking awkward or, I'm not doing it right. And there is no right or wrong when it comes to movement. Our bodies are all completely different, and my body is going to be different than your body. And my body's going to be different than anyone else who's listening or watching's body. And like giving yourself grace and allowing your body to move how it wants to move and not comparing it to anyone else. because your body is so special. And it wants to move. It's asking for you. It's asking and craving for that movement.
And movement has been a part of our ancestral being as long as humans have been alive. And when we're talking about the spiritual, we can look at many religions, and dance is a huge part, like Baptists, right?
Yes.
They dance at church. Like it's a big part of connecting to the divine.
Absolutely.
You look at Native American tribes, South American tribes, a lot of Caribbean nations, like they dance in ceremonies.
Yes.
So I love that you keep that alive.
Yes. Oh, it's so powerful.
I love it.
It is so, so, so powerful.
So, you know, we obviously have gotten a little bit of a clue of your area of expertise, but I would love for you to kind of explain a little bit more what it is that you do. Like, how do you define it? What is your niche? Like, what's your jam? What's your bread and butter?
Yeah. So as Mandy said, I'm a Sensual Embodiment intimacy coach. And I do many different things, but specifically to kind of hone in on everything, and I'll get a little bit more detailed, but I help people experience more intimacy and pleasure within themselves and other people. And I don't just mean your intimate partners and relationships, but also friendships, also family. Like, how can you have a better relationship with money? How can you have it's just relational in general, like intimate relations with the things in your life. So that's essentially encompasses what I do, but I also host workshops, sexy sensual dance workshops, which is a safe, sacred space for women to express themselves sensually and sexually and really like embody that sacral feminine energy through movement that I help guide you to. And that is a beautiful experience. It's a transformational one. I'm also doing couples intimacy workshops as well, tantric intimacy workshops, so you can connect deeper with your intimate partner or a really close friend. A lot of people think intimacy is sexual, and it's not. It's the act of practicing presence. It's the act of dropping in with another person that you're with and really experiencing their soul with yours and not letting the distractions of the outside world or your thoughts interfere with the presence of who the other person is. It's really just seeing someone, hearing someone, and being seen and being heard, and that being reciprocated in that beautiful present moment. And that's what intimacy is. And that's essentially what I help people do, is connect back to that. And there is parts of it that are sexual because that's extremely important. It's an extremely important aspect of our lives as human beings as we create. That is something that holds true to me, and a lot of things that we don't talk about.
It's very true.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, it's so good to have a coach when it comes to this topic, because we can say, oh, you need to move more, or you need to connect more with your partner, or you're lacking intimacy in your romantic partnership. But it's not as simple as like sit in front of each other and stare at each other. Like, you kind of need a coach to guide you into those deeper spaces, to help you stop thinking the thoughts that you're thinking. Like, it's going to take someone like you to facilitate that journey.
Yes.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was easy, we'd all be intimate, sensual beings all the time, but we're kind of not.
Yeah, absolutely. I think sex and intimacy is like one of the hardest things for couples and people in general to even talk about, like express what you need in that moment, right? Because there's this pressure for men anyways to perform, and then this pressure for women to look a certain way. There's women looking a certain way and men performing. So now we're both in our heads sexually. We're not really even enjoying the presence of each other and honoring like what we want, talking about our needs, talking about our fantasies, even if it doesn't involve the person that's in front of us. Talking about our fears. A lot of people have a lot of fears in sex that they don't express or talk about. Like, I fear that you're going to think I'm ugly because of my stretch marks. Like, that is an intimate fear that you can express with your partner. Granted, there are levels to get there, but those are the things that need to be talked about and need to be shared and need to be expressed in order to have that deeper, like full body, orgasmic, ecstatic experience in your relationships and in your sexual experiences.
Yeah. And I love that you bring that up, because, you know, you could have a good sex life and a bad intimate life.
Yes.
You know, just because you're out here having sex doesn't necessarily mean that you're connected in that deeper orgasmic way.
Exactly.
They're very different experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Traditionally in our society, it's like sex is the end all be all. There's an end, there's an outcome, there's a goal. when there shouldn't be a goal. This is like the most beautiful, most powerful energy we can tap into as human beings on this planet Earth, is that portal of creation. That is the energy of creation. How beautiful is that? And that we don't even know much about it. We don't know like the power behind that. Yes, you can create, but you can create so much more intimacy when you understand how to play with that dynamic and play with that energy within your relationships, knowing that it's not just sex. Like, yeah, I'm having good, primal, wild sex, but like, when are we having that intimate, deep, like, I feel you, I see you. It's that pleasure, it's that passion that's coming through.
Yeah. That's always challenging because, you know, when you are with someone and you love them, you want them to love you for every part of you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes just saying, hey, I'm really like self-conscious about this, or I'm worried that when we're having sex, I'm going to fart in front of you, right? Like, if you just bring it up to the person and they can look at you and be like, well, I don't care. Like,
yes,
that's gonna happen.
that actually happened to me.
Really?
Can I share a quick little story?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, you probably hate me for saying this.
No, go ahead. I mean, this is being real, right?
Yeah,
This
no,
is
I
what
was giving,
I'm gonna sip my tea while you spill it.
So I was actually giving this guy, oral, and, you know, he was coming and ejaculating in my mouth, and I was really present with it. Like, I'm just very present when it comes to my sexual energy, and I was present with it, and he's having his orgasm, and it was great, and it's all coming in my mouth, and then all of a sudden he farts, and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, I'm just gonna keep going. Like, I don't care. Like, we're human.
Yeah.
We are human. We make noises. Our bodies make noises.
You're obviously like comfortable. You're having a good time. That you just, you know?
Like, if I can't experience you farting, but I can have your cum in my mouth, like, really?
We have like
disconnect
here.
And that's the thing. We try so hard to be this person, to be this mask, to have like this perfect persona of like, I need to be this way during sex, and I need to perform and look a certain way. Like, no, we're human and we make mistakes, and not that that's a mistake, but like, it's a part of us. Everybody goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
And I think that's really a great example of true intimacy, right? Because I see you as a human being, an imperfect person that I can still love.
Yes.
Right? You don't have to put on a show. You don't have to come smelling like roses every day. Like, you don't have to perform for me.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be you.
Exactly.
And your authentic self, because then I see you for who you are, which means only then can I love you for who you are.
Yes. And that creates that deeper connection that people want. Everyone craves that connection. Everyone wants to love and be loved.
But they don't want to be seen.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing that story.
You're welcome.
So let's kind of circle way back to your beginning. How did you even get into this calling?
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm sure there's a whole story that goes along with this.
Oh, a whole story.
You don't just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to teach people to have the best orgasms of their life.
I wish I did, but no, that didn't happen for me.
So here we are.
So full transparency, full vulnerability. I'm a very open person. Trigger warning, I guess. But I experienced sexual abuse as a child by both male and female. And then I also experienced physical abuse in my childhood as well. And so that led to a disconnection of self-worth, and who I was as a person, and the connection to my body. So with all the physical abuse against my body, as an adult, when I started to become sexually active, sex was really weird for me. It was really uncomfortable. I thought I was doing something wrong, because I did also grow up in a religious household where self-pleasure is a sin, right? Sex before marriage is a sin. And so there was a lot of, this is wrong, this is not good, this is uncomfortable, because my body didn't feel safe being touched in that way. Because when I was touched in that way, it wasn't with permission and it wasn't with consent.
Yeah, and that carries over.
Absolutely. And so my body didn't feel safe. It resisted it. I didn't have my first orgasm until I was like 21. And that's a whole other story, but like, that abuse really disconnected me from who I was as a person and my worth and the pleasure. Like, it really felt wrong. It felt, our bodies are creatures of habit. So it was holding on to that trauma even though I was experiencing a whole different person, I couldn't experience the pleasure of sex. I couldn't experience the pleasure of the orgasm or feeling safe enough to release. And when you are having an orgasm, if you're squirting or having any sort of sensations intimately, you need your body to feel safe and to release to really experience those deeper states of pleasure. And so that carried along into my adult life, not healing that part of me. And I ended up in an abusive relationship with a partner. And that was a 2.5 year relationship that slowly got worse and worse. But because of that relationship, it showed me, it kind of was like a wake-up call. It was a huge wake-up call. I remember one day he was grabbing my hair and like pulling me in a corner. And it was this one day that I just had enough. Like I just was like, Kassandra, you know better. You deserve better. You deserve way better than this. And so I snapped and I hit him back and I ended up breaking my right hand. Yep, I ended up breaking my right hand. I had a cast and I remember hiding that from the world. I hid the cast from the world. I hid it from my family members because I was so ashamed of the situation that I was in. And the person that I attracted and the person that I was becoming.
Yeah.
Not knowing my value, knowing my worth, and seeing how disconnected I was from myself.
Yeah.
And so one day I just woke up and I had enough and I basically packed up everything I could in my car and I drove from Washington, D.C. to Florida.
Wow.
And that's how I landed here. I had no job. I had no money. I think I had like $100 to my name. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to get to Florida, but I'm just leaving and I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how I'm going to eat. I don't really care. I just need to get out of that situation and be free. And be free. And when I got into Florida, I knew that I was never going back into a relationship like that ever again. Ever again. And I started to go deep within my healing journey. I started to hire coaches and mentors and like really do the inner work. I started to do like some Sadhguru inner engineering, master code things. I started to meditate more and do yoga and really connect to who I was. I started to do a feminine embodiment course. It was a lot of unraveling, but I knew that there was more. I knew that there was more for me to do and share. And through all of the embodiment practices and figuring out myself, connecting back to my body, exploring the safety, how I can release and relax and receive. That is how I was able to really get through that. And learning that, I also went through a Tantra practitioner course as well. So that really like expanded my horizons when it came to sensuality, sexuality, and intimacy within myself and with other people. That really expanded me to see there's so much more than what we've been shown. There's so much more than what we've been taught. And the Tantra helped heal parts of me that I didn't think were healable, were fixable. Fixable, I don't even know if that's a word.
Yeah. I mean, no.
That's
so
word.
True.
But that helped me really connect back into myself. And I realized after the things that I've gone through, how many people have gone through the same thing.
Yeah.
And I had a healing session not that long ago, but a message came to me. And it was, I am here to help women rise in whatever capacity that is. So no woman will ever have to suffer in silence again like I did. Because so many women do. And that's why I want to create a safe space so people can come into my world and be like, yeah, I'm human too. I've gone through shit. I've gone through things. I've gone through abuse and trauma and all kinds of crazy stuff. And that's okay. And I'm here to hold you in that space. It doesn't make you any less valuable. Yeah. So that's kind of how I got into all of that to circle back around.
No, I mean, I think you bring up so many points that are so valuable, and I'm sure there's a lot of women in our community that are going to connect with so many different points of your story. And one of the biggest things that it reminds me of is at the end of the day, no matter what we've been through, it is our responsibility to heal it. And I think it's so common. I mean, most women, we get into our first like deep intimate, what we think is intimate relationship. And we think just being sexual with this person and being with this person is going to heal us. It's going to make us happy. It's going to make us feel worthy. It's going to make us feel all these kinds of ways. And then it doesn't because it's not someone else on planet Earth's responsibility
Mm-mm.
to heal all that we've been through. And it's not even the people who have wronged us. It's not their responsibility to heal us. Unfortunately, it's just the laws of the universe.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility. And I see that reflection in you where you were like, one day it's up to me and I'm going to do whatever it takes and I'm going to focus in and go inwards. And when I started the Holistic Soul Sister Radio, we started and kicked off with a mini series called Heartbreak to Heal. And it was about how when you have that deep heartbreak in your life and you get out of a relationship, whether it's a divorce or just a deep, intimate relationship that you get out of, you feel heartbroken. But there's ways to heal that so you never feel heartbroken again. And even if you get in an intimate relationship and it ends, you're not heartbroken because you're so freaking healed that you're like, okay, it wasn't for me, or I'm going to miss them. I still love them, you know, whatever. But it takes the healing work. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did when you moved down here.
Yes,
you put in the work.
Yes, I want to add to that because
please,
a lot of the times when we're in relationships, or we end relationships, we want to blame another person. We want to, it's their responsibility, it's their fault, they were toxic, they were this, they all of these different aspects that are negative about another person, and we fail to take responsibility for who we are. But when we do that, in failing to take the responsibility for our part in the relationship failing, or not being in alignment, right? Because there's always a path or purpose for something. But in our not taking the responsibility, we are giving our power away to the other person. We're giving our power away to the other situation. So now we can't, quote unquote, fix it because our power is away. It's their fault. They have to fix it. They have to adjust themselves. They need to fix themselves. It has nothing to do with me. And it actually has everything to do with us. Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. When we take our power back, that's when we can take radical responsibility for our actions, for our outcomes.
In the now.
In the present moment, and change that to better ourselves so we don't end up in the same situation. The reason why people always attract the same, they always say like, oh, it's the same guy, just different, or same guy, different face, different name. Because it's the same exact situation that you're attracting because you're not taking responsibility. You're not saying like, hey, how can I own up to the fact that maybe I didn't show up as a good individual for myself in this relationship? A lot of people, they want to be good partners, but then they're not good individuals for themselves, and they make the other person their entire world. The other person shouldn't be your entire world. You should be your entire world, and then everything else is secondary.
I call it the main character energy.
Yes, exactly. Everybody else is a side piece at this point. Background actors. They're paid actors.
Yeah.
You better
show up, and I want you to show up. In the way in which I need you to show up.
Yes.
And if you can't, next.
Yeah, we're going to recast you.
True.
We're going to recast you, but you should be the main focus. I like to think about a web and the interconnectedness in a web. Like the center of the web should be you, when a lot of people, they put the relationship in the center and then everything else is secondary, including themselves.
Yeah.
When it should be you. You are the center of the web, and your relationship is a priority, don't get me wrong, but it is secondary to you. Even your children. I know I'm going to trigger a lot of people. Even your business. Yeah. Even your careers. Even your friendships. Even your family. It starts with you. Taking that radical responsibility that you have the power to fix, to heal, to change.
And I think once you do that and you work with a coach like you and you start increasing your vibration and you start knowing your worth and you tap into your body and you have your pleasure practice and you know what feels good, you're not going to settle for anything less than that.
That's right.
Because you know now how pleasurable, how sensual, how juicy life can be.
Yes, absolutely.
Why would you go back? So, yeah, I love that.
Exactly.
It's exactly it.
Exactly.
So,
Steps for greatness.
I mean, your story is just so powerful and what you do is powerful. So can we just reiterate, what is your why? What is your big why? Why are you doing this work with women? Because it's not easy and you're putting yourself out there saying stuff that society considers way taboo. So you must have a very strong why.
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up, I'm Puerto Rican, and I grew up in a Latin household, seeing women cater to someone else so much in their life, seeing them not have a voice, not speaking up, not following their dreams because they had kids or a husband. I seen them settle when they deserved so much more. And I see that every day. And I see women put other people on a pedestal and they fail to put themselves on a pedestal. And growing up witnessing that, I knew I didn't want that for myself. And I wanted to make sure that no woman ever felt like she had to settle for less than what she deserves.
I love that.
Because we are so freaking worthy of everything we desire. Everything. Even if you don't believe it, I am a prime example. I am an example. And other women are examples of what is possible. If you see another woman in a beautiful, loving, genuine, authentic, connected relationship, know that is possible for you. That is a sign that that is possible for you. If you see a woman, she owns $1 million business, guess what? If she can do it, you can do it too.
Yes.
And my why is to help women rise. Like, that is the core of everything that I do, is I see the fire within you and I'm just going to pour some gasoline so you can rise up.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. So, there are obviously other coaches that work in this similar space. So we got to know, tell our Holistic Soul Sisters, what is your unique how? Like, how do you go about all of this juiciness and bringing it out of women in your own unique way?
Yes. So first and foremost, in order for you to create intimacy within yourself and create that deeper sense of pleasure, we have to get into awareness of what is holding us back and why we don't feel safe within our bodies. That is the first and foremost thing. So I have a unique framework that I use with all of my clients. It's called the AAA effect: acceptance, awareness, and action. So we go through these 3 different stages in our calls, in our coaching, in our workshops to really become aware of what's happening. Accept what's going on, because in order for you to change anything, you have to accept, right? And then we take action. But I don't just do meditations and like journaling prompts like everybody else. No, we go into sacred rage. We do movement practices. We will do feminine embodiment practices. We will do self-pleasure practices where you are literally on a call with me and you're kissing your entire body. It's extremely powerful, extremely beautiful. And I'm the kind of coach, it's almost like a tough love, but it's more of like authentic love, right? It's not hard, like, I'm going to tell you what to do. It's more like, hey, I invite you to maybe look at something like this. Or I see where you're blocking yourself off from receiving love in this capacity with your partner. Is there anything that you're not looking at? Really just bringing in like the parts that people probably don't want to talk about. Maybe they're afraid to. Maybe they're ashamed to say like, hey, you're blaming. As a coach, I'm just going to be real with you. I'm going to be authentic. That's like one of my number 1 values, is being authentic, being vulnerable and transparent and real, and using the body within this coaching experience. We bring the movement, we bring the flow, we bring the pleasure, we bring the intimacy. It's not just, okay, we're just going to get intimate and call it a day. You're just going to look in the mirror. Like, no, I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to guide you. I'm going to hold your hand. I'm going to make sure you feel really good and really safe within yourself first, so then you can bring that out into the outside world with everything that you do.
Oh, I love that. I love that. So that kind of actually leads us into what you're going to teach us about today. So with all of our primary practitioners, we're asking them to bring us some good content that can help us change our life today.
Yes.
So we kind of brainstormed some ideas, and you felt really called to share about creating more intimacy within our partnerships.
Yes.
So I'm really excited. I'm going to sit back and learn and take this in, because I think no matter where you are in the phase of your relationship, whether you're just starting the dating process or you've been married 20 years, working on your intimacy, I believe, is an ongoing journey. Mm-hmm. You're going to go through phases where all of a sudden something happens in life and you want to go in your shell and you don't want to share, or something comes up, or when you first meet someone, you're like, I don't even know how to have these conversations. Yes. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yes.
How to create more intimacy within your partnerships.
Yes.
Take it away, girl.
This is one of my favorite topics to talk about, is helping people connect to each other, especially in relationships. It's like the juiciest thing on planet Earth. I just love relationships and the way they just connect with each other, and just the way humans being connect with each other. So 3 ways to create intimacy in your relationships is number one is creating safety. Creating safety not only within yourself, but creating safety within the container. And how do you do that? How do you create safety within yourself? How do you create safety within the container? Within yourself first is coming back to your own energy. Even if it's taking a few minutes before you're going to have a deep, meaningful conversation with someone, before you're even going to get intimate with someone, be sexual. Taking a few breaths to yourself. Really feeling your body. Taking a few inhales. Exhales. Allowing your shoulders to fall open. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Allowing yourself and your nervous system to regulate. Because when we want to talk about these deep fears and intimate conversations, our nervous system is like, oh my God, this is so scary. I don't want to do this. I'm out of here.
Run.
Yeah, run.
Get out the door.
We're getting away from here.
Hang up the phone.
Right.
How many times in relationships we get into a fight on the phone? It's like, hang
up. I'm not going to hear this. I'm not listening to this. And so it's creating the safety within your body that I'm secure within me first, and then vocalizing to the other person. If we're having a conversation, and you can do this with anyone, it doesn't have to be your relationship, but specifically relationships, I just want to let you know that you're safe. And the other person can repeat that back. I just want to let you know that you're safe here.
I just want to let you know you're safe here.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I see you.
And it's so simple.
Yeah, I see you. I hear you. And just saying those 3 things, you're safe, I see you, and I hear you, will create a sense of safety within your body. Because that's it. Like, our minds can do all the talking, can do all the work, but it's our bodies that need to relax so we can really get intimate and drop into presence. And even just saying that, the energy feels safer.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, okay, I don't have to hold the weight of the world on my shoulders anymore because I'm safe in this container.
And I can be here.
Exactly. So number 1 would be create safety within yourself and your partnership before you're getting into intimacy. And with whatever capacity that is, whether it's a deep conversation or it's sexual, being safe. The next one, and this might be a little bit intimidating for a lot of people, but it's very simple too. Very simple practical practices that we can use is actually just looking at each other in your eyes for at least 10 seconds with no words. Not saying a thing. Not letting our voices, sometimes we want to talk and we're actually just not listening to the other person and we're not there. Sometimes you speak and the other person's like, but they're not actually there. They're thinking about their to-do list. They're thinking about what they got to do. They're thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about what's for coffee. Like, they're thinking about all these different aspects of life, but they're not really dropped into presence and listening. And so eye gazing, essentially is what it's called, gives you a chance to listen and receive without being interrupted or distracted by the outside world, because all you're going to be doing is looking at each other. Just looking at each other for at least 10 seconds. No conversation, no words, and seeing each other, because the eyes tell such a beautiful story. It shows all of our humanness behind those eyes. It shows our pain, our triggers, our suffering, our traumas. It also shows the bliss and the joy and the excitement of life. It shows who the person is and what makes you so unique is what's in the eyes. And they say it, and I believe it, that the eyes are the windows to the soul. And not talking and not distracting yourself with what's happening will help you drop into seeing the other person, receiving them, feeling close. That creates the depth and the intimacy. And I say at least 10 seconds, but to be quite honest, this should be done for at least a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. But if you are like just dating someone or you're just getting to know someone, 10 seconds is pretty good, because we're not going to go on a first date and be like, hey, let's look at each other for 20 minutes. Not say a thing.
Unless they're like your twin flame soulmate.
Right,
Feel normal.
unless they're me.
You get in a date with Kassandra and she's gonna be like, hey!
Yeah, let's not
shut up and just look at me.
Yeah. Let's not talk. We're here. I need to see you first.
Yes.
But yeah, you can utilize that practice. It's a beautiful one. You can do this with friends, family, parents, kids, whomever. It's a beautiful practice to do to just honor the other person and really see them for who they are and see our humanness and take the mask off.
What is your recommendation then for a relationship that has tension around it or animosity or someone you've been fighting with for a long time? How do you gently move into the eye gazing then? Because I feel like sometimes people have such like
resistance,
animosity and resistance for their partner that they're like, I don't even want to look at you.
Well, that's why step number 1 is important. Because that will bring you into the looking. That's why we're not just going to look. I want to tell you, like, I hear you, I see you. And most of the time when we're having animosity, we just want to be heard. We just want to be heard. We want to know that our points are valid. And my feelings are valid. And I just want to be seen by you.
Yeah.
And deeper than that, we just want to be loved.
Yeah.
And we want to be understood. And having that first step of like, hey, I see you, creating the safety within the container first will lead you into being able to see each other.
Okay. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay. So we do that. Then we eye gaze.
Yes.
Then what?
My favorite part. Physical touch. Yes, physical touch. Physical touch. And it doesn't have to be we're jumping on top of each other. It doesn't have to be anything. It just be, and this is why I say this, we can face each other in this practice.
Okay.
Right? You're safe here. I see you and I honor you. And the other person can reciprocate.
You're safe here. I see you and I hear you.
Yes. And you can eye gaze for 10 seconds. And the trick with eye gazing is to look at one eyeball, because otherwise you'll just be like back and forth, back and forth. So try to just look at one eyeball. And then just put your hands out. And hold each other. I already feel more connected to you.
Isn't it weird? I was like, why do I get all giddy inside?
Yeah, it's so beautiful. And that is what creates the intimacy. It's like, I see you. I see your soul. I see you for who you are. Yeah. And the beauty inside of you.
It's wild. Because it is like an energy exchange.
Yes.
Even though you're not saying anything.
Yes.
Just like, yeah.
It's extremely powerful. It is so beautiful. And to just open yourself up to being seen.
Which we don't do.
And held. Yeah. And that is how you create the deeper intimacy within your relationships and your partnerships. So try this at home.
Yes. You have to try it.
Try this at home. And it's like simple practice. Just be like, babe, can I just try something with you really quick? Like I heard something on Holistic Soul Sisters TV and I really want to try this.
Yeah.
See if they're open to it. It'll be so simple. And then if you want to get deeper, we can get even deeper than this. But this is like the basis and the basics of creating intimacy within relationships.
I love it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Queen.
Yes. And it's interesting. I never would have considered doing that practice. It's something I've done with my partner. It's something I love doing at cacao ceremonies and with my friends. But I never would have considered doing it with a parent. And isn't that weird? Because your parents should be some of your deepest connections, but there is a lot of inner child trauma. I mean, even the best parents, right? They're not perfect. And so I'm going to try to work myself up to asking my mother to do it when we get together.
So beautiful.
I have a lot of womb healing that I'm working on. Rose was monumental in helping me kind of go through some womb trauma. And, it's like a conversation I'm going to have with my mom more about like what my birth process was like and what it was like when she was pregnant. But I feel like before even having that conversation, I'm now going to do this practice.
Yes, you will just drop in.
And she will too. And she's a Cancer sun.
Exactly.
So she needs safety.
Yeah, and you become more vulnerable with each other.
Yeah.
Because you do feel seen.
Yeah, totally. This was like light bulb for me. I mean, of course in partnership, but like parents and anyone that you're working through stuff with. Could you imagine doing it with your children when they're little?
Beautiful.
How beautiful. To teach them this at a young age. Okay. I love it.
I'm not doing all this work for nothing.
You're out here changing the world. I love it. Well, this goes back to just being so grateful for you and going on your healing journey. Because if you would never have taken that radical responsibility for what happened to you, that was beyond your control, you know, all this healing wouldn't be happening in the world. All these people you come in contact with. It's just a beautiful ripple.
Yeah, I'm so grateful for my journey. And I'm so thankful. For a long time, it was resentment. And now I'm just like so honored and grateful that I did go through that. Because if it wasn't for any of those experiences that I went through, I wouldn't be here and be able to show up and help transform people's lives.
Yeah.
And help people connect. Like, I just want to help people connect and love more.
I love that. So what do you feel like, you know, kind of going into a little bit about how you help your clients, what do you feel like is the most common reason people come to your workshops, to your events? Like what draws them to you? What are their main things?
The main thing is feeling confident in themselves. And being connected to their bodies. That is like one of the main things. Usually a lot of the women who come to my workshops, they have some issues with like body dysmorphia or insecurities or self-doubt or lack of confidence. And they really want to connect to their sensuality. They're disconnected from that, feeling sexy. They don't feel sexy. And so when they come to me, like, I just want to feel sexy. I want to feel confident. I want to be embodied. Like, I want to feel turned on every day. And so they come to my workshops to experience that, to get a little taste of what that's like. And then if they want to go deeper with me, they can. And they can go deeper. And we can do, I offer private one-on-one coaching that is an inclusive, customized experience to what you're primarily going through. And then I also do group coaching if you wanted more of a community-based, but it is still deeper, but you have more support of the community and a sisterhood that gets being built.
I love that. And I think it's so important to bring up that no matter what you look like physically, most women have some sense of confidence issues, you know, and I get, you know, from a health coach perspective, I get a lot of women that come to me that are like, you know, I don't like my body. I don't like my weight. I want to look better in a bikini. And we go through all the work of changing their diet, switching out their foods, like exercising. They do the work, and I see them. I see them beautiful the day they come to me. I see them beautiful the day they're done with me, but they still have that inner confidence lack.
And that comes from a belief.
Yeah. And that's where you come in, where it's like, hey girl, like, let's move the body. Let's tap into your sensuality. Like, yeah, it's that layer below just the physical things you can do on your day-to-day basis.
I wanted to add, like, because I didn't mention earlier, but like, that's what I do. I talk the layer of the body, right? But I also work with the mind. I do a lot of subconscious reprogramming with them. It's not just the body. It's like, we're going to reprogram your mind and your negative self-talk and the way you actually think and what you believe and connect it with the body. We're doing the mind-body connection so we can transform.
Yeah. So currently, what is your most popular service? Like what is the thing that you do the most to help women?
Okay, so everyone loves my workshops, my in-person and virtual workshops. I host sexy, sensual dance workshops for women, sacred space for women to open up, connect to themselves and their bodies, and really just release that like primal, wild, feminine within them in a safe container with other women. And we're dressed up in lingerie, and I know it sounds intimidating, but I promise you it is the most fun. It's like a slumber party, almost like a lingerie party for women. And I teach a choreographed dance at the end. I've been dancing since I was 3 years old, using dance and movement as a healing modality for me. So I bring that into the space. I have a blindfolding exercise that we do. So that would be like the most popular. I also host couples intimacy workshops to help couples regain intimacy, connect back into themselves, and have deeper, juicier pleasure within their relationships and sex, of course. But it starts with the intimacy first.
I love that. So your workshops, I think you do some retreats as well, right?
Yes. I'll be doing some retreats by the end of the year. That'll be amazing. It'll be like a sexy, sensual retreat.
Ooh, very scorpionic vibes.
Yes. So up your alley.
Yes, I'm right here for it.
Yes, up your alley. So I'm excited for that. I'll be doing different workshops too, traveling to Austin, traveling overseas to do different workshops, probably hosting the sensual workshops and the couples intimacy workshops. So that's really exciting news. And I'm on the verge of creating an app.
Ooh, that's something we can look forward to.
Yes, you can look forward to an app coming out soon. It's going to be an app basically that's going to host a lot of sensual embodiment workshops, classes, master classes, guidance, coaching, how to experience more pleasure every single day. And it's going to be an app that you can just go on every day. In the morning, you can click it, press play, and you'll be able to do any workshops, any classes, any feminine embodiment, self-pleasure. You'll be able to experience how to have better orgasms, how to squirt, how to deepen your connection with yourself and your partner, how to have these conversations with fantasies and fears, how to even invite somebody else into your container, into your sexual intimacy container, how to even have that conversation and open that up. And it's going to be a community-based platform, which I'm really, really excited about. So that'll be coming out soon. So please stay tuned for that. It is an exciting project that you can just go on there, click your app, and start your day feeling turned the fuck on.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I love that. So if our holistic soul sisters are watching or listening and they're like, Kassandra's my girl, I'm ready to start feeling sexy AF.
Let's do it.
What do they do next?
You can go on my Instagram. It's confidence_Kass with a K, confidence_Kass. Or you can go on my Facebook, Kassandra Reyes, and my website, KassandraReyes.net. That will have all my workshops on there. If you want to do any private, deeper one-on-one coaching, group coaching, any of my retreats, everything will be on the website for you there.
I love that. I mean, I could talk to you all day long,
I know,
literally.
right?
We got to wrap it up at some point because I'm sure our mamas need to go back to their children, uncover their ears.
Yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you so much.
So I would love to kind of hear one last piece of advice you want to leave our holistic soul sisters with when they unplug from this podcast or this video. What is a piece of advice you hope that they take forward with on their journey?
I would say the biggest piece of advice, especially with what we've been talking about here on this platform, is I just invite you to be and have the courage to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is so powerful because it shows not only yourself who you are authentically, but it shows the world who you are. And that is what connects and creates the intimacy so you can go deep, so you can have those heart-centered relationships and experience deeper pleasure in life.
Ooh, it's juicy. I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here with us, for spending time with us, for blessing us with your knowledge and wisdom. And I am so grateful for you to be an example of someone who is living their authentic truth and for showing us what is possible, how we can have so much more in our life if we just tap into it. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm extremely grateful. Thank you. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it.
And you can all look forward to Kassandra hosting a Monday takeover in our private Facebook community. Ooh. She is going to put together something juicy, something magical for our holistic soul sisters. So if you're not in our private Facebook community, I recommend you hurry up and send in a friend request, and we will accept you into the group. And we will announce the date that she will take over, what she has going on, what time you're going to want to tune in to be live. And if you're catching this episode after the fact, your Monday takeover will be saved in the Facebook group. So you can go back at any point in time and go rewatch the videos and catch up on all this goodness.
Yes, I'm excited for that. It's going to be so good.
I love it. Yay.